Adding a group or church. Adding a group or church in GAPP is a record of your faithfulness to the Great Commission and the fruit of your labor. By adding groups and churches in GAPP, you are better able to increase your vision of God's work, inform your prayers about God's work, improve your preparation for God's work, and invite others to participate in God's work. To record a group or church in GAPP, select the appropriate team from the side menu and select Activities. Now select the Create Activity button at the top of the screen. From the drop-down list of core task categories, select Church Formation, and in the pop-out menu, select Group or Church. In the Contributors section, select the Add Member symbol in the search box to include anyone else from the team who is with you. Select the Add Members button. To prevent double counting of an activity, only one person should enter a church, and be sure to add all the other people who are involved as contributors. In the Location section, select the default or current button to use one of those preset locations. If neither of those is the correct location where the activity happened, select the Location selector to search for a different location. You can search for the location in the search box, or move and zoom on the box to search for a different location. When you have the right location, select Continue. In the Is Active section, select whether the group or church is still meeting. If you select No, the Date Ended question will appear. Select the date the group or church stopped meeting. In the Date Started section, select the date the group or church began meeting. In the Name of Group or Church section, enter the name or some other identifier for the group or church. In the Identifies as a Church section, select if the group identifies itself as a church. In the How Often Meeting section, select how often the group or church meets. In the Has Appointed Leaders section, select if the group or church has appointed leaders. If you select Yes, a new Leaders Information section appears. In the Leader's Name section, enter the leader's name. In the Leader's Gender section, select the gender of this leader. In the Is This Leader Trained section, select whether a leader has received training that includes how to teach or preach. If you need to add multiple leaders, you may add them using the Repeat button. In the Practices Believers Baptism section, select if the group or church practices believers' baptism. If you select Yes, the Is the baptizing done by a member of this group or church section will appear. Select Yes if this group or church has authority to baptize members themselves, and if baptism is typically done by members or leaders of this group or church. If a church planter or leader from outside this group is doing the baptism, then select No. In the Practices the Lord's Supper section, select whether this group or church takes the Lord's Supper, communion, or the Eucharist. If you select Yes, a new question will appear. Is the Lord's Supper served by a member of this group or church? Select Yes if this group or church has authority to perform the Lord's Supper themselves, and if the Lord's Supper is typically being done by members or leaders of this group or church. If a church planter or a leader from outside this group or church is administering the Lord's Supper, select No. In the Is Actively Making Disciples section, select if this group or church is actively making disciples. In the Practices Given section, select if this group or church collects tithes and offerings. In the Regular Teaching from the Bible section, select if this group or church has regular teaching or preaching from the Bible. If you select Yes, a new question will appear. Is the teaching done by a member of this group or church? Select Yes if this group or church is teaching one another and if the teaching is typically being given by members or leaders of this group or church. Select No if a church planter or leader from outside of this group or church is regularly doing the teaching. In the Practices Serving One Another section, select whether this group or church loves, encourages, and serves one another. In the Practices Accountability section, select whether this group or church holds one another accountable and practices church discipline. In the Practices Prayer section, select whether this group or church regularly prays together and encourages individual prayer. In the Practices Singing and Praising section, select if this group or church regularly sings and praises and worship together. In the Languages Used When Meeting section, select the languages used when the group or church meets. Select one of your defaults, or use the other option to select a different language from the list. By default, this brings up the languages that GAPP knows are near the location you selected. But if the language you were looking for is still not in the list, you can select the search box and type the name of the language you were looking for. If there are multiple languages used, add them using the Add Item button. In the People Groups Attending section, you can select the group or groups that attend the group or church. For People Group, you can select one of your defaults, or use the other option to select a different people group from the list. By default, this brings up the people groups that GAPP knows are near the location you selected. But if the people group you were looking for is still not in the list, you can select the search box and type the name of the people group you were looking for. Of course, if you don't know the people group, you can leave it as unknown. For language, you can select one of your defaults, or use the other option to select a different language from the list. By default, this brings up the languages that GAPP knows are near the location you selected. But if the language you're looking for is still not in the list, you can select the search box and type the name of the language you're looking for. Of course, if you don't know the language, you can leave it as unknown. For religious background, you can select one of your defaults, or use the other option to select a different religious background from the list. By default, this brings up the religions that GAPP knows are near the location you selected, but if the religion you're looking for is still not in the list, you can select the search box and type the name of the religion you're looking for. And of course, if you don't know the religion, you can leave it as unknown. In the number of people attending, enter the number of people attending from this people group. In the Number of Believers section, select how many members of this group or church from this people group are believers. In the Number of Baptized Believers section, select how many of those believers from this people group have been baptized. If there are multiple focused people groups, languages, or religions impacted, add them using the Repeat button. In the Global Segments section, you can optionally select any social segments that attend the group or church. In the Comments box, explain the activity in more detail. Select Submit. You will then return to your team dashboard with an activity created successfully notification at the bottom of the screen. To view your church, go to the Churches tab in your team. You'll see a diagram of the church you've just created. If you made a mistake, you can select the church and select the Edit Activity button, make the necessary changes, and select Save. That's it. You have recorded another work of the Lord among all peoples and places. Praise praise God for the work He is doing.